guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here in the land of paradise in sunny Florida, and look what we have. We have one heck of a drop top convertible. This is a 2021 Chevrolet Camaro. This one is an RS 3LT. But before we dive into this convertible iconic car from Chevrolet, let's talk about what's going on here. So the Chevrolet Camaro, it's been around since 1967. That's been Chevrolet's answer to the Ford Mustang for so many years. Now, what's interesting is that the battling between the Mustang and the Camaro, very fierce, but something happened in 2002. That was the last year of the Camaro. Now, I know you're probably saying, well, Joe, it's 2021. If 2002 was the final year of production, then what happened here? Well, guess what? In 2010, Chevrolet decided to bring the iconic Camaro back to its lineup and really try to take some of that retro style and blend it with 21st century style, but have that same recipe for great overall performance. Definitely having a convertible in the lineup is going to bring a lot of fun. Now, today you can still get your Ford Mustang, of course, you can still get your Chevrolet Camaro, and you can get them both in a drop top, and you don't have to necessarily go the big V8 route. Both brands offer a smaller displacement engine. With the Camaro, you're getting a little bit more variety. If you go Mustang, you're kind of shoehorned into that 2.3 liter inline-4 turbocharged EcoBoost engine. But with this Chevrolet Camaro, if you don't want to go SS and have that V8, you can then also choose to go with a smaller displacement. You have two choices. You could go with a turbocharged 4, but we have that tried and true 3.6 liter V6. So let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out, is this the best convertible pony car to get, even though maybe some people wouldn't consider it a true muscle car because it doesn't have a V8. Let's go ahead and find out. First off, right off the bat, all new color for 2021. This is called Wild Cherry Tintcoat. Really sparkles like a ruby, really nice. As we come into the front fascia, you can see, like I was telling you, they're blending that 21st century with that old 1967 Camaro style. When it comes to the Chevrolet Camaro, I think they went a little too far with the 21st century styling. I wish they would have kind of restrained themselves a little bit. Now for 2021, besides the color, there are a couple other changes, but what you're gonna see at the front of the business is you're gonna get those LED headlights, LED daytime running lamps. This is a 3LT trim. Some flat black, which I'm not minding. It's actually not looking too bad with the flat black, and I do like the way you do have a functional side air curtain, and I think it's stylish the way they took that trim and then, you know, had it flow nicely into that front splitter region. Now, you are getting a fake vent here, this being an RS, so I am gonna zonk that, but you do get this nice brushed aluminum trim. And then as we come across that center section, what I like on the 2021 is that they went back to a cleaner style. And what I mean by cleaner style, remember in 2019, they decided to take the bow tie, especially on the SS, and bring it down here. And it kind of just threw off the looks, but you can see you have flat black, everything is fully functional. You're gonna get that blacked out bow tie badge, such an iconic logo through the decades in the automotive industry. And you're also gonna get your RS badge. Now, if you're wondering, well, Joe, what does RS stand for? It stands for Rally Sport. And that is more of a outside appearance package. RS has never been a performance package because back in 1967, for example, you could get an SS with the V8, but you could have an SS RS. So you'd have the SS V8 power, but the RS appearance package. This one being an RS has that appearance package. I do like the way they have a nice splitter extension off the front fascia with that flat black. And I'm telling you right now, if you have not seen Wild Cherry Tintcoat in person, it really is a color to behold. Now, when we get up onto the hood, you have those traditional body lines that you're gonna find on a Camaro, especially even going through all the way back to the late 1960s. I do like the nice rise that you have in the center, flows all the way to the back. So where it actually rises up, it stays that same height all the way towards the windshield, and you could really see that as you're behind the wheel of this car. Now, as we come around the bend, what kind of wheels and tires are we working with on a 3LT? So when you go 3LT trim on the RS, you're gonna get these bright silver, and I like it. It's like a nice flat metallic silver 20-inch wheels, so 20 inches in diameter, and you'll notice it's a split spoke design, a little bit of machined finish on it, gives it a nice extra tasteful look to it, but I do like the way it balances nicely with that Wild Cherry, probably one of my favorite colors I've seen in a long time. Really has a lot of nice metallic flake. You can see, of course, you're gonna get ventilated discs up front. And as we go into the fender, nice tasteful fender badge, that Camaro badge, red, white, and blue, that American pony car. And what's interesting is that here's a little fun fact. If you look at, say, the Mustang compared to the Camaro, this car is actually more built here in the United States than other areas of the country or the world. So that really shows the connection between where the car, this being an American icon, this is where you're gonna find it. Now, as you go down the side, having the top down, that really gives it a nice clean look. I like the way they brought that Wild Cherry into the window frame. You got Wild Cherry spilled onto the mirror caps as well. Very nice, strong, prominent body line that flows along the rear, along the side door towards the rear of the vehicle. And you'll notice that it has a nice concave finish to it. Now, when we get out back, you're still gonna get those same great 20-inch wheels, 245 on the width. This is a rear-wheel drive car, so 245 on the width, 40 series sidewall, and really sits nicely. There's not too much gap between the top of the tire, the inside of the fender, which also helps give it a nice clean look. And remember, this is sitting on that newer Alpha chassis. So when you park this next to a Mustang, it's actually a little bit smaller, which is gonna give you better handling overall in that lower center of gravity. Now, when we get to the rear, one of my favorite parts, if we're comparing this to a Mustang, is this tonneau cover. Much cleaner look. If you get a Mustang, when you put the top down, you gotta snap in this plastic cover, and I don't like the way that looks, and it's a pain in the rear end. This though, you have a nice tonneau cover, almost has a clean Speedster look to it, the way it's got a nice dip in the center there, and on the front of it, it says Camaro, which is kind of cool. You can see that in your rear view mirror. Tasteful on the trunklet spoiler. It is a simple pedestal style trunklet spoiler, but one thing I want to point out is this guy right here. So if you see this camera right built into the pedestal, we have that digital rear view camera, gives you a great clean view out your digital rear view mirror. Going the 3LT, you are gonna get, and the RS, you're gonna get the cleared out taillights. The one thing I wish they would get rid of is this horizontal bar here. That's the one zonk on those taillights. Other than that, they really have grown on me. When I first saw them, I really wasn't digging them as much, but if they got rid of that bar, they'd be golden. You do have the same blacked out bow tie, just like up front. They even went ahead and cleared out the third brake light up top to really just match in all super clean, super seamless. And then down below, you're gonna get a trumpet style exhaust that has a great sound, nice flared out tip, and a simple rear diffuser. I guess the one big zonk at the end. Why did they put the RS badge here? It was almost like pin the tail on the Camaro, and they put the RS badge down here being blindfold. So I am gonna zonk that. Where I would like to see this badge is either here or on that side. I think that would, I don't know, kind of just clean up the look and make it not look so random. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's powering our Camaro. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. There's a couple things on the Camaro that you're not gonna find on the Mustang. First of all, hydraulic hood struts. Also, remember, on the Mustang, you're stuck with one other engine option if you don't wanna go with the Coyote V8, but in our Camaro, we get 3 engine options. You could go 6.2 liter V8, you could go smaller inline 4 turbocharged, or you could go with that tried and true naturally aspirated V6. So it's a 3.6 liter V6 engine. It's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And if you're wondering how much horsepower, 335 horsepower, 284 pound-feet of torque. The car weighs around 3,500 pounds, 0 to 60, 5.1 seconds. Quarter mile is gonna go by at 13.7 seconds. Top speed, 151 miles per hour. MPGs around 16 in the city, 28 on the highway. I guess the one thing I'm gonna zonk underneath the hood is the engine cover. I wish that they just would have done something maybe a little bit sexier, since you are going with the mid-range engine, but it's nice to see the bow tie. But I guess the bow tie technically should have been black, since it's out black on the outside. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this V6 and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we got the top down. The great thing about having the top down is there's no blind spots, because that's been a weak spot to the Camaro compared to the Mustang is it has more blind spots, but with the top down, you don't have to worry about that. I want to show you what it's like to put the top up. Real seamless. You're just going to hold down the button up top and you're going to watch everything go into motion fairly quickly, and you can do this while you're driving down the road, which is nice. Now, once you put the top up, the blind spots come back, and they come back in full force. But the good news is, and you get a little bit of a chime, the good news is we do have our digital mirror, which I'm going to show you. But I'm going to open up the door for Lori and let her in and let the rest of you in. Now, what's crazy is that being 6 feet tall, even with the convertible top up, plenty of headroom, which is great. Blind spots is just, they're plentiful. So you're gonna have to be careful, and you'll get used to it. Trust me, as I've been driving this Camaro for the week, even with the top up, I've gotten used to it very easily. Now, I know you're at that point, you're like, Joe, and you're sitting there, you're thinking, that's why I'm not talking right now. You're like, Joe, I've been thinking about getting a pony car. I want a convertible drop top. I don't want to go Miata. There's not a lot of choices. I like the idea of having a V6. I don't want a V8 or need a V8. How much is this one? So with the Wild Cherry Tintcoat, which is a optional charge, and being a 3LT RS, the way that you see this one, you're looking at MSRP right around $44,600. Let's see what you're getting for the money to the door panels. I love the way they did the two-tone interior, especially up top. Nice soft touch material, that caramel tan stitch work, and then you get to the armrest area. That's all nice caramel color, soft to put your arm on. You see that bright silver trim that almost looks like aluminum? There's actually ambient lighting. You have over 2,064 and a half colors that you could switch through to make that light up at night and while you're driving when the sun goes down. So nice little touches. Door pocket though, you might be able to get a hot dog from 7-Eleven, and that's about it. The drink, I'll show you where you're gonna have to put your drink in a few seconds. But going from the door panel to the dash, I do like the style, the way they brought that nice caramel brown. You have the round AC vents. The one zonk, hard plastic. They didn't even try to do like a semi-soft plastic. It's just straight up hard plastic. The good news is it's flat, and I'm not talking about flat as in surface, it's flat as in color, so it doesn't make a lot of glare and cause you to be blinded as you're driving this, especially with the top down. We get to our infotainment system. You're gonna have that usual 8-inch infotainment system, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and if you're ready for this one, I need somebody to do a drum roll. Do a drum roll for me. Thank you. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is new for 2021. You got your navigation up. It's real easy to navigate through. Do you see what I did there? Navigate through. And the graphics are super clear. You can get in your climate controls, adjust everything very, very easily, which is great in here. Go back to home. Super smooth, super seamless. You even have some ambient lighting that goes around the edge here. Nice little touches. I'm gonna throw it into reverse. They do a great job with their backup camera. Super clear, the resolution is great. You do have trajectory, and if that's not enough for you, you do have, and I'll show you in a few seconds, the digital rear view mirror. You do have your start stop button over here. I just wish it was a little sexier. I don't know why they use this weird trapezoid design. I would rather have just a good old fashioned round start stop button, but you know, it is what it is. You do have ventilated seats, heated seats, dual climate control, which is great. And then I like this, watch this. I adjust the temperature by turning the rings. And they got a nice feel, a nice click to them as you go through. You can adjust your blower fan speed. Real simple right there. I almost shut off the whole system. So thankfully my finger did not do that. But you go hot, you go cold, medium or mild. This is gonna be controlling that 10 speed. Look at the racing stripes they put up there. The Camaro name, little touches, leather shift knob with that nice caramel. I want like a nice one of those like caramel cubes right about now to pop into my mouth. But the caramel brown going into the shift boot, a little bit of hard plastic, but you know what? They did do a good job with softer material on the sides here. You got your mode selector button, a little bit of shiny trim, which is tasteful. And then you have a 12 volt. The only zonk is I don't like where it's located. I wish that they put this closer, because if you're gonna use a radar detector, which you might want to save yourself from getting some extra tickets, it's sort of a far distance from the windshield. But you got your two cup holders, semi-soft to almost hard as a rock. The stitch work is nice. You open this up. I got my mask in there. That's the sign of the times. But you know what? You got two USBs, maybe one Twinkie. Do not put more than 2 or you're gonna get cream all over you and your hot date. I'll put my mask back. And then the seats. They're so comfortable. The stitch work is great, ventilated and heated. I'm so glad they brought a little bit of dark material in there. And then of course you're gonna get power assist for the passenger and the driver. And then like I promised, there's our digital camera. That's gonna be right out the back, and they don't use the backup camera. That's a separate camera, clear as day. Wanna make it disappear? And then you can look at yourself again. Hi. But if you're ready, I'm definitely ready. Come on over to the business end. I wanna show you behind this flat bottom steering wheel in our Camaro RS. All right guys, business time behind the wheel of our Camaro RS. I do like the Camaro script here. This lights up at night to welcome you, let you know what car you went with. You could have went with a bunch of other ones, but you went with the tried and true Camaro. Overall, the seats are great. You have your seat controls, easy to get to. The bolstering is actually really comfortable and nice. It supports you, but it's not squeezing you, which is wonderful. Steering wheel, great size, great thickness. I like that it's flat bottom. My only zonk is, why didn't they put an RS badge here? You went RS, you went 3LT. I would like an RS badge right there, but flat black on the buttons. You got your paddles to go up and down that 10-speed automatic transmission. I feel like I'm playing like pinball. And then the dash, clean. I love a combo of analog and digital. So you have your analog tach, analog speedometer, and in the center there you have your digital display, and you could go into different modes. If you don't like sport, you got snow and ice, and you have tour, and you got the gauges across the top. And then because we went 3LT, you have a nice large movable head-up display. Speaking of head-up, my head is up and I got plenty of headroom. And if you're wondering, there is wireless charging. The pad is actually located at the back of the center console, close to the passenger seats. We're not getting in the rear seats. For somebody 6 feet tall, super tight, but we will show off the trunk before we take our Camaro for a little spin. Let's go check it out. All right guys, time to get into the trunk. I've already popped it. You lift it up. Now, one of the things with the Camaro where you're gonna lose to a Mustang is trunk space. And the reason why they have this panel here is because if the top is down, which you're probably gonna want, I'm gonna guess you're probably gonna wanna put the top down if you're getting a convertible. This is how much trunk space you have. About enough room for one carry-on. If you keep the top up and put that panel down, now you can see easily you could get 2 carry-ons in there, and you can, move the seats, the rear seats as well. But that is one of the things, the challenges with the Camaro, is that on the Mustang, whether the top is up or the top is down, you get the same amount of room. But if you're ready, let's put this top down and go for a little spin in our Camaro RS. All right guys, we're in the 2021 Camaro RS with that wild cherry color. I'm gonna do it in manual shift mode. We're gonna leave the top down, obviously, because we're talking about top down fun, and see how this Camaro with 20-inch wheels and that V6 hustles down the road. I'm gonna do manual shifting, so you're just gonna take the shift lever, put it over to the left, and use those plastic paddles. Give it a little bit of throttle. On throttle, here we go. Unique sound coming from the back. Very balanced. Here we go. Nice smooth downshifts. Yeah. Woohoo! All right, let's just digest what we just ate back there. So, steering feels great. I have it in sport mode. I'm using the paddles. The shifting could be a little quicker, especially on the downshifts, but having that head-up display is a wonderful addition. The seats, even though I'm not sitting in Recaros like in the ZL1 or the ZL1 1LE, seats feel good. Overall, very nice, balanced power. Power that's going to make you feel good to drive, but it's not gonna scare the hell out of you, especially if you are a newer driver, but definitely top-down fun times 100 in this Camaro. I do like having the top down in a Camaro because it just opens, obviously, everything up. No blind spots. great sight lines looking out the front. It almost feels like you're in an older generation Corvette, like a C4, C5 Corvette. That's the kind of feeling that I'm having with the way everything is set up in here. But the dash, easy to read, analog tach, analog speedometer. Everything else is well laid out, easy to get to. All right, guys, once again, we're gonna go through the twisty bits from a dead stop. On throttle, here we go. Nice pop from the exhaust. Brakes feel good. Yeah. Here we go. Let's talk again. So this Alpha 2 chassis that this Camaro is sitting on, very well structured, really helps you feel planted. There's no shudder or any kind of shake or vibration because we are in a convertible especially, and I really think it out-handles the Mustang, really. This may even out-handle the Mustang with the high performance package, to be honest with you. That's the kind of work that they've done with the chassis. Obviously with those 20-inch wheels and those lower profile tires, you're not getting a lot of tire flex. And even though we don't have a performance upgraded brake system, brakes bite very nicely on those rotors and hold a nice steady pedal feel. Feels really good beneath the ball of your foot. All right, guys, here we go, on throttle. Crisp turn in. Yeah. So really very flickable. I mean, it's very good input coming through the steering wheel. You can feel the traction beneath you, and the nice thing is with not having a crazy amount of horsepower, I'm not worried much about spinning up the tires coming out of the turn. You just kind of carry your speed, but then you're able to just apply that throttle and get on with it. And the V6 has a unique sound, especially since you cannot get a V6 with a Mustang anymore. Put the smile on your face. All right, guys, here we are one last time, just for you. You guys deserve it. On throttle, a little bit of chirping tire. All the way out to 7,000 RPM. Feeling good. Yeah. Nice. Quicker transition. There was a little bit of body roll more than what I would feel comfortable with, but other than that, for just an RS with the V6, you really could toss her around and have a great time. And like I said, you got all the amenities in here, and with the addition of the wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, and if you got people who are willing to squeeze back there, you can take 3 other people with you, which makes the drive that much better. But I'm glad that I could take you for this drive with us. We're gonna get back to our beautiful piece of paradise, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been one heck of a wonderful day with this drop top Camaro. I definitely gotta thank Kyle and the rest of the crew over at Chevrolet for allowing Rady's Rides access to this 2021 new color, that Wild Cherry. It's great to see the Camaro still being built. Remember, a couple more years, they're saying that the Camaro is gonna meet its demise once again, and who knows if it's gonna come back, and who knows if it does come back, what it's gonna be like. So if you've wanted one of these, there's no better time right now, especially Wild Cherry, and especially how you have a little bit more flexibility when it comes to engine options. And is this a muscle car convertible? I don't know. There was once upon a time where 300 horsepower or more definitely put you in a muscle car vicinity power-wise. So it's interesting to see how things have changed, especially when you have the ZL1 with 650 horsepower. But if you want to keep seeing drop tops like these and comparing them to the Mustang, because right now those are the only two pony cars you can get in a convertible, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you in the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Raiti's Rise merch. Got to give it up to the queen of the camera. She's loving this drop top. She's loving this color. She's thinking, hey, Camaro, it's a nice car. So thank you, Lori, for all that you do in your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.